if you're watching this, it's probably because you need to start prepping for what's coming. And I'm making this video to help people prepare and just in general get through the times that are coming. Because I have seen what is coming, and it's gonna get very hectic. So I'm here to help transition us into the new next stage of life that humanity is coming into, which it's gonna be very hectic. Hi, my name is Betsy. Welcome. I have written down all the stuff that we are expecting. Well, not expecting, but like they're very, very, very likely to happen. And I know they're very likely to happen because I have seen different timelines that we could have gone down. And luckily, we are going down the best one right now. This is like going towards the best timeline. Things will get weird. Things will get wonky and like chaotic, and it's gonna get very dark at certain times. But we are currently on the trajectory for the best timeline, for the best outcome for our society to move on to the next stage of life, of evolution, of the next era in the most peaceful way possible. Thank God, but like it's still going to be very crazy. So let's begin with the first things that are going to happen. First, this isn't talked about as much as it needs to be talked about, but the solar flares. Solar flares are going to get way more intense. We just started seeing them up in ante. Very recently, we have been hit by multiple solar flares at the exact same time. The sun exploded at least 4 of them at the exact same time. So we're gonna start seeing more of that kind of energy getting hit at us. Like, and it's just gonna get more and more intense, and people are gonna start feeling it. It's going to get very physically and emotionally uncomfortable. It's already physically and emotionally uncomfortable, okay? But it's gonna get much more uncomfortable. Like, people already are getting headaches and like physical symptoms like nausea, headaches, and like kind of feeling like you got a cold but not really. But it's gonna get anxiety, that's another symptom. Lightheadedness, exhaustion, those are some of the symptoms. But it's gonna get really intense, and it's gonna make people go psychologically crazy, because we literally need to purge out the darkness and the corruption within us and not just that, but be physically healthy too. We need to eat healthy, drink lots of water and electrolytes. Electrolytes are very important during this time, or just in general, but especially right now, because they are keeping your body in because we are made of energy. So with the electrolytes, your body is being able to function at its best, aside from just being healthy in general, like eating healthy and doing exercise, any kind of physical activity that you prefer, doesn't matter, just as long as you're being physically active, and doing the psychological, emotional, spiritual work to purge out all the toxic beliefs, the passed down traumas, and like just all of that stuff needs to get worked on, because if not, you will literally start to become psychotic and a danger to yourself and a danger to others. And I will go more deeply into that later, because we're going to talk about the people that do go psychotic. Yeah, the people who go psychotic are the people who refuse to take responsibility for themselves and their problems and to get better. And we will see that. But towards like later on, before the age is like completely like done and we officially move on to the next phase, it will get intense, like intense to the point where like the energy comes in from the sun and we are literally brought to our knees with how intense these waves, these solar waves are. And it will affect the electrical grid, it will affect technology, it's going to affect all of that. So because of that, we do need to start working on our electrical grid stuff. So like start getting all your like electrical stuff grounded into like the earth, start going off grid, start figuring out how to get energy. Like we will eventually get free energy that does not require posts and wires and all that, but for the meantime, just the most important part is going to be like grounding ourselves into the earth, like putting your feet on dirt, meditating outside, doing physical energy, doing physical work outside, going for a walk, and like just being healthy. It's going to be really important because the people who don't are going to literally go crazy. And yeah, just be aware of that. And like for like the power outages or technological discrepancies that we're gonna have, like just be mindful of that stuff. Have backup batteries, have like candles, flashlights, stuff like that for any kind of like power issues, electrical issues. Start buying maps because the GPSs are not gonna work. Buying radios are probably gonna it's gonna work better than having a phone in certain cases. Yeah, just stuff like that. Yeah, on to the next one. There will be I hope not, but it seems like from what I've been seeing recently on social media that it's very likely that there will be revolts due to the election, and people will try to like fight back and try to like reestablish things. It's not going to work, but yeah, there will be social upheaval because of politics and social revolts. I hope that it doesn't get to that, and I hope it if it does, it's on a very minor level, but that is very very possible. Everything I'm going to talk about is like very possible, but the solar flares is definitely going to happen no matter what. The social stuff, the stuff that people do, that is not as predictable. It's very 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 likely, but it's because we all have free will. We can't actually control, we can't actually see if like it's 100%. So right now it's on like a 80 percentile accuracy of what is going to happen, but this is like we're like very very like in the direction for these events to happen. The next thing, Trump and RFK are still both in the danger zone for assassination. They are both, because they are both going to try to disrupt the systems in place right now and expose the corruption and the abuse of power, and not just that, the crimes against humanity that have been happening because of the establishment that we have right now. And both of them will be targeted for assassination, for unaliving. Yeah. I hope that this doesn't get taken down because I said that, but yeah. So if anyone hears this, if they hear it, I don't know if they're gonna hear it, but yeah, they need protection for that because they are both. I saw that they both are. I saw many scenarios where one of them ends up getting offed. So that's that. And then that, if either one of them does end up being unalived, they cause massive social rioting and upheaval and like just, yeah, revolting stuff like that. But anyways, the next thing, riots in New York. There is a very, very high chance of really, really dangerous riots and revolting happening in New York. It could be because of the election, or it could be because of financial collapse. It could be both at two separate occasions, but New York is in high risk for riots and revolting because of these reasons. So I don't know what we can do about that other than just try to report anything if you see it. Try to stay out of that area if you start seeing any kind of like social unrest. Yeah, we can't really do too much about the people that revolt because they're making their own decisions, and the only thing that we can do is report it, stay away from them, let the authorities deal with it. That's really all we can do. Try to like get people to not rely on these systems like money and government, which is what I'm trying to help people do, because this is all going to collapse, all of it. And yeah, you just cannot rely on these things, and the people that are heavily reliant on it will want to revolt because they feel like they are powerless and they have nothing, and the people who were giving them the ability to live properly was these systems. So that's why I'm making these videos, because people need to stop relying on these powers, these systems, because it's all going to collapse. Eventually, it will all collapse. And the way that we're going, it seems like it's, from what I saw, it's going to go very fast. So we really need to help each other out and stay away from the danger zones. Yeah, we just need to all come together and help each other out. This is going to be a hectic time. And like I said, this is on the trajectory of the best timeline. So there's other timelines that we did not go down, and they were a lot worse. So this is all for good, for the greater good of everybody. You can mourn the systems, but they're all gonna go down. Okay, the next thing, the 1% panic. They start panicking. They probably are already panicking, but they're gonna like heavily start panicking over being exposed for their crimes. So they start to take out their money and their assets from stocks and banks and all that, and they try to flee or go into hiding. And because of this, they disrupt the monetary systems and cause big, huge problems for the lower class and the middle class. This is also a reason that people could start revolting all over. But at the first place, no matter what, is going to be in New York because of the stock exchange and like all of that. Like, and the Trump Tower's there too. Like, there's just, it's gonna get crazy. But yeah, so the money problems, everything is gonna skyrocket after that. The inflation's gonna get ridiculous. No one's gonna be able to afford anything after that. So this is why I'm saying this, like, all this stuff is happening, and like people just need to like not rely on these systems because they're gonna fall apart regardless. And like I'm gonna get to how we can survive this stuff in a little bit. Let me just get through the list of stuff that's coming. The next thing, flooding and storms. New York. Again, New York. Like, I'm sorry, you guys, but there was so much stuff that's going to happen over there. The water levels rise. It could be because of storms. I did see storms hitting New York, but no matter what, the water levels do rise, and it starts to get dangerous to live in the city area because it does start to get flooded. And again, this is all happening for a reason. That was like the main hub for like all these 1% to do their business, for like the old systems, for the monetary systems, the governmental systems. Like there's just so much going on there, and it's all gonna come down. And then again, California flooding, but California, on their side, the flooding does not come from storms. They do get hit by storms, but the big thing that makes them get flooded is a series of tsunamis. And again, all this stuff could change because we don't know if they're using weather manipulation or anything, but this is just what I personally saw happening. And recently, like with the Florida stuff that happened, I saw the hurricane hitting Florida and destroying a good chunk of Florida. Most of it was going to get flooded from that. But a lot of people started praying and meditating to reverse it, to give the least damage, and it worked. So we can do that for all these other places as well, which is amazing. I'm so happy that worked. So that means we're on like a really, really good timeline because we are able to like take control in like a grander scale. So yeah, in California, you guys, the tsunamis could be because of earthquakes. I didn't see any earthquakes, but how do you see earthquakes underwater? I mean, I wasn't shown earthquakes. I was shown massive tsunamis, a series of tsunamis going to California, and I was shown this many times. So I don't know if this one's gonna be out of manipulation or Mother Nature, but I would keep an eye out for that. Stay away from the coast for the time being. And then this is just for 2025, from now to the end of 2025. Honestly, yes, this could span until 2030, technically 2029, but I don't think so. I think this is gonna happen a lot sooner. All of this stuff I feel like it's gonna take place in 2025, but it could span over larger time. The next thing, proof of Atlantis or an ancient civilization resurfaces along the coast of Florida. Yeah, so there's going to be something that resurfaces along the coast of Florida. It like comes up from out of the water, and it turns out to be ancient. It's proof that ancient civilizations had higher knowledge and technology than we had, and it ends up being proof that Atlantis was real. Okay, that one's pretty exciting, but yeah, and it's gonna be along the Florida coast, so along that area in the Atlantic. Timeline glitches. Okay, so the time is going to get weird. You're going to start seeing time slow down, speed up, stop altogether. Many Mandela effects, and Mandela effects that are going to be like, what is going on? Like big Mandela effects where you cannot deny that they even exist anymore. Where you are like, okay, I'm in an alternate reality. I know this happened, and now this is happening. This is what? Like, it's gonna get weird. You're gonna start seeing time get weird. Time is gonna get wonky, and that's because the age that we're going into, the frequency that we're going into, is not in a space of linear time. The next stage that we're going into, evolutionarily wise, we are able to step outside of time and manipulate time through our psychic abilities and through technology, because we do have that technology. It's just suppressed by governments and stuff like that, but as a society, as a human body, we are stepping into being able to go past linear time as a collective. So that is gonna start getting weird. And then this is where timeline wars start happening, because the timeline split starts getting very, very obvious. It's already getting very obvious, but for those of you who don't know what that is, it's when society splits into two, and society chooses to go into a synthetic, self-destructive route, and the rest of the society goes into love and health-based route and an evolution, self-evolution route. This one is self-destructive and technology and synthetic, and also eugenics and what's it called? I forgot the word. I'll come back to it. But where they manipulate their bodies with tech and just synthetic things to evolve, but it's not actually evolving, it's devolving. Yeah, but we start seeing that split in society. Yeah, and it's also like the people who are going to go psychotic are the ones going into self-destructive route. You're going to start seeing them like it's going to be very obvious who's who, because you're going to start seeing people uniting, and then the other side is going to be people dividing and people silencing other people and harming themselves and harming others. And it's going to be very obvious where people stand. Yeah, so that's that. Also, a sudden resurgence it's gonna be quick. It's not gonna last a long time, but there will be a resurgence of that will be like out and like actually like trying to like attack people and like having actual like movements to get more people as a part of their movement, try to resurge that whole belief system that those two groups had. But society will crush it and like bury it forever. And we don't want that kind of consciousness or belief systems in our society, in our world anymore. So it's not gonna work, but that will resurface. So keep an eye out for that, and let's try to keep that out of society. We have to speak up against that kind of belief systems, because we don't want any kind of like racism or genocidal like beliefs. That's not where we're going as a human body. The next thing is the trans people. Now, I'm not talking about the people who have actual gender dysphoria. I'm talking about the people who think they have gender dysphoria but are actually self-harming and harming of others, and like support the harming of others and harming of self. And what I was personally shown psychically was that these group of people are going to be completely different from actual trans people, because their presentation and their actions are going to be very, very different. Actual trans people, they want to look like the opposite gender, the opposite sex. This group of people start to look like clowns. And I know it sounds crazy, I know it sounds weird, but that's what I was shown, and I'm starting to see it in society. Like, you're gonna understand what I mean when I explain it. So these people they're gonna start to look like clowns. They're gonna start dyeing their hair in crazy colors, and it's not gonna look nice. And they're gonna start painting their faces like very ridiculous, like clowns. And they're gonna start dressing in like really weird ways that are either really, really, really like over sexualized, or like really, really ridiculous in general. Like, it's just, yeah. And then like it's very like Joker-esque. But yeah, and then these people are going through a psychosis. The people who look like clowns are going through a psychosis. These people are a danger to society and themselves. This is what I was talking about earlier about the whole psychosis thing. They are going to start like doing more shootings. They're going to start hurting other people. They're going to start sexually like trying to abuse of other people out like they're just gonna start doing it out in front of everyone, and like they're just gonna be a harm to society. And I'm not trying to demonize these people, because these people have been very traumatized and hurt, and they've been just completely pushed out of society. They are a symptom of our structures failing to help us get better from all the traumas and all the corruption and the distortions in society. So our systems have failed us, and this is the symptom. These people need help. They need recovery. They need some sort of rehabilitation to get them to be able to function again within society. Yeah, so keep an eye out for that. If you see these people out and about right now, the best thing to do is just don't say anything that's gonna make them get triggered, and like just try to stay away. Don't try to shun them or anything, just politely stay away and politely just address them politely, because we don't want them to start going out and like shooting at like start shootings and like start mass unaliving people. Yeah, this is gonna be like an actual epidemic, and we need to address it. We don't have anything currently to help these people. All our systems have failed these people. That's why this is happening, and we need to create something to help these people out. Yeah, so this is going to be something that we're going to be seeing. We are already seeing the beginnings of it, but it's gonna be a bigger thing. That needs it, and it's gonna need to be addressed, and we really need to stop demonizing them. We just need to have know that this is a mental issue, this is a psychological issue, this is a spiritual issue. Like this, they need rehabilitation, they need help, and they're not getting the help. They're just being constantly excluded from normal society and demonized. And the more we do that, the worse it's gonna be. The worse the reaction is gonna be towards society, because we're just fueling them to hate society. Yeah, so here we go. The next thing is drugs and vaccines, right? So new drugs that have been brought out, like Ozempic and all these crazy weight loss drugs that have recently come about, and vaccines. They are going to we're going to start to see the long-term side effects, and the long-term side effects are going to be really bad. People are going to start having complete collapses of their immune system, and they're not going to be able to function like everyone else. Like just going outside is going to be really, really hard for people. They're not going to be able to like actually like do things out and about like normal people. They're going to start getting really bad symptoms. Their skin is going to get very, very sensitive. They're going to start burning very easily. Others are going to start getting sick very easily, which we already see that happening. People are going to start losing their hair. They're going to start just burning very easily, shedding skin very easily. Like it's going to start getting, the symptoms are going to get weird, but it's mostly about their immune system falling apart. So they're going to start getting sick with many crazy things very easily. What's the next thing? Right, the connection to Diddy and Epstein. So there's going to be someone outed who has a connection to both Diddy and Epstein. I don't want to say who it is because I don't want that person to just go into hiding right away in case if they do see this. But there will be someone outed that has a connection to both. And from that person being outed, the dominoes all start falling down in from both sides of Diddy and Epstein. So all the people connected to both of them start getting outed because of this one person that has a connection to both of them. And yeah, it's gonna get crazy after that, because after that the Diddy tapes start getting leaked online. And then people start turning themselves in. People start writing people out. Some people start to unalive themselves because they don't want any of this on them. They don't want to deal with any of this. They just don't see any kind of exit point to their life getting better after this. So they just unalive themselves, or they start attacking each other. It starts to get crazy in that aspect. And then after this happens, civilians and police go to the underground tunnels to save the kids and the people being trafficked. So there are already people who have gotten this calling to go do that. This is when you go do that. After that happens, they start to go and investigate, and I mean hordes of people. I mean a lot of people go and do this all at once, along with the police, because they are so enraged that they feel the need to go and participate in saving these people, saving these children from this kind of abuse, from this trafficking. So that happens. If you've gotten the call, you will be doing this. This is part of your mission here in this life, to go do that and save these people, save these children. Okay. After that, we do need to establish a rehabilitation for the people who survived human trafficking. We also need to have a separate rehabilitation for the people who were groomed into becoming the traffickers, or into becoming a abuser. Because the people who were groomed from childhood or teenagehood, they did not know any better, and they are able to actually change. It doesn't mean that every single person is going to change, but they can be, and they were victims, so they didn't really have a choice. They were forced into this lifestyle, and we need to treat them accordingly, because it's not fair to those people who were groomed and forced into this from a young age. And then it's the same with the survivors. They need their own separate rehabilitation, where they're not being sexualized, where they're not being abused, and they both need to be rehabilitated into regular society, because they can't go back into society the way they are after being rescued. Yeah, they've been through too much to be able to just go back into society. It's shocking. It'll be too shocking. Some of them won't even be able to, like, it's too much. Not just for them, but also for regular society to even interact with these people, because they're not fully there anymore. They're just like zombies, some of them. And we need to help them recuperate their sanity, recuperate their personal will, and just overcome everything that they've been through. Yeah, the next thing, food and inflation crisis. Yeah, like I said earlier, the money situation can get very crazy. But for sure, food prices and inflation is going to get more bad in general, even if like the whole thing with the 1% doesn't happen right away. The food inflation is going to get really bad. It's going to get, the prices are going to start skyrocketing, and not just that, they're already, but it's going to get worse. They're going to start messing with the food, and we're not going to want to eat the food that they sell to us. So we need to start growing our own food. Some people are already doing that. If you're not, start. If you don't know how, make friends with people who do. Make friends with farmers. Start shopping at farmers markets. Start making friends with people who like grow their own food. Like work with the farmers to learn how to grow your own food, or start volunteering with them so that way you guys can both benefit out of the farming. People are going to start bartering and trading for food. Food is going to be very, very important. Food rights is going to be very, very important. Having the ability to grow and sell your own food, aside from the corporate food industry, is going to be a very big thing. So if you see any kind of like food prices start going up, this is you need to start doing this. It's already happening, but it's gonna get worse. Yeah, and then people are gonna start bypassing the grocery stores. They're not gonna buy from the grocery stores, the corporate grocery stores anymore, like the chain ones, because everything is just ridiculously priced. People are gonna start growing their food, selling to each other, trading, bartering. Small businesses are gonna start thriving again. Online businesses, local businesses, they're all gonna start thriving because of this. Because like everything is gonna start skyrocketing, and the regular people are not gonna be able to afford it. So all these small businesses are going to start pricing their stuff more reasonably, and they're just going to be able to like, it's just going to be easier for these, like the economy is going to change completely before it completely collapses, because people are going to stop relying on these big corporations, and people are also going to start bypassing the government. So if the government wants people to do a certain thing, a lot of the people, not everyone, but a lot of the people are going to start like ignoring it and just completely doing something different. They're going to start implementing like certain money systems, like they're going to want to do like electronic money systems, like Bitcoin, but their own. And they're going to start implementing like social credits and stuff like that, and like most people are just not gonna participate in that, and they're just gonna start living the most that they can without money, without politics and all of that, and like just live separately from that entirely, and including like the corporate systems, like the grocery stores and like corporate products and stuff. Just all of that is just gonna start falling apart because people stop buying into it, start participating in it. Public schools also start collapsing. Again, a system that's broken, and it's just part of their agendas, and children don't even get educated anymore. It's all just propaganda. So people start taking the kids out of schools in hordes and start homeschooling, start creating their own school systems apart from the government public schooling. Universities start collapsing, and it's just all of it just starts going into completely separate other systems that the people create. After that, the top get exposed. So the highest levels of authority get exposed, which I would mean like ex-presidents, people in like that work in the White House, people that work in like the biggest corporations, people that work at all of like leaders from all around the world, like get exposed like for human trafficking, human experiments, human sacrifice, black magic, cannibalism, torture, and then they get exposed for working with evil ETs. They also work with demons, and they also work with an evil AI that works with the ETs, and they're also hiding very, very advanced technology from the human body. So from pretty much everybody. And then after that, this is like the big finale. We get disclosure. Non-humans living among us. And this disclosure is not just ETs, it's everything. So we start to get ETs, vampires, demons, gods and angels also living among us. Lesser gods, because they're the creator of all is not going to come, is not living among us. I mean, it's everything. The creator of everything is everything. But yeah, lesser gods and angels are all living among us, and that all gets exposed. Disclosure starts happening, and the only reason disclosure starts happening is because all of this stuff gets exposed. That's the only way we actually get disclosure, is because all these people get exposed for their crimes against humanity. And then after that, we have the solar flash, and the solar flash is what religious people call judgment. So, because we expose all of this, the human body collective is able to finally be able to be truly judged by the divine, because we have all chosen to not have that controlling us anymore. We choose to take our power back from these people, these groups, these corporations, these governments, these systems. We take our power back from that, and then we all collectively we all collectively like get judged by the divine. And it's not like a judgment like, oh, like oh, you're a sinner because you've had like sex with like this many people. No, it's about like what kind of person you've been in this life and all your other lives before that. So before this life, all your other incarnations, and like what have you brought to this world as like a whole during your entire time here. Yeah. So this is like, you could try to get right with the divine powers of this universe, but I don't know if it's going to do anything if you've always been corrupted and bad. But the good thing is a majority of humanity is going towards enlightenment and the golden age, and like just everyone, most people, like I said, 1% is the other, and then there's people in between that like still can like choose where they want to go, because they're just in that in between area where they haven't really decided what kind of person they want to be. Yeah, So there's that. I'm personally happy about that because for me, when I saw it, it was a beautiful thing that happens, and it happens in the sky. There is a great explosion that happens in the sky, and then the sky gets like ripped open, and then we see auroras all over the sky, and then people get their souls get taken up. Yeah, so it gets crazy, but then we and after that, then it's the two world split, timeline split, and the people who are self-destructive go and live how they want to live, and then the people who aren't, we get taken to this timeline and live how we want to live, and we just start living separately. We still live on the earth together for some time, but afterwards, after some time, we just don't see each other anymore. And there's a big reason why for that. Some people just like completely merge into another frequency, and like we just literally are living in another reality that's better. And then there's going to be a lot of people from the self-destructive side that literally leave the planet. They go on ships and leave the planet because they think that they're going to die. That actually might happen before the soul flush. Some of those people might actually start leaving the planet before the soul flush because they're panicking and stuff. But yeah, no. No, they some of them start actually leaving the planet after the solar flash because there is a comet, not an asteroid that's coming towards the Earth, and they get scared. They think that the world's gonna end. But those of us that know, we're gonna be okay. We just need to stay connected with the divine and do the best that we can to be a good person. Yeah. And a healthy person. Like, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of the people you love. Just overall. That's where society's going. That's where we're all going. We're all going in this direction towards enlightenment and betterment for yourself and for everybody else. We are on the trajectory to the best timeline. It's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get scary, but we are on trajectory for the best outcome. And yeah, like we need to do our best to just unite and work together and help each other out because times are going to get tough, and we need to do that. So yeah, the main big thing that I wanted about was like growing your own food, eating healthy, drinking water, electrolytes, grounding, doing the psychological, emotional work to let go of the traumas and the toxic behaviors and belief systems that we have, toxic ideas that we have, because that's all going to make you psychotic and a danger to yourself and others. Yeah, drug abuse is gonna take you directly to that self-destructive route, to psychotic route, and like that. And I'm not talking about like using psychedelics. It's just abuse of it, like abusing anything is going to take you in that route, because we are not going to be abusing anything anymore. We're not going to abuse the planet, we're not going to abuse people, we're not going to abuse ourselves. Like that, all the abuse is what we're purging at this time. Everything that has been founded on any kind of abusive system, abusive thought forms, abusive reactions, and anything like that is going to be purged out. And if it's not, you're gonna get psychotic. You're gonna be psychotic, and you're gonna be exposed as a danger to everybody. and the people who are already deep in that are going to get exposed anyways. So that's what's going to happen, and we all need to just start preparing for these things, for the solar flares. Solar flares are going to push this out of people. It's going to get very uncomfortable physically, emotionally, psychologically. So take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Prepare for electrical grid outages. Prepare for technology shutting down. Prepare for that kind of stuff. Living off grid. Learn how to live off grid. Learn how to clean your water. Learn how to because water, like the water that we get from the pipes runs off of electricity. So learn how to get water aside from that. Food. Work with the people around you. Go to farmers markets. Make connections. Make friends. Start making groups in your town to work together to be able to overcome these things that are coming, because they're coming. They are coming, and we need to help each other out to get through these times. It's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy. New York, California, be aware of flooding. Be aware of the flooding. Be aware of the riots, because it's gonna get crazy. Especially New York with the riots. I just remember New York being the worst. Because Wall Street is there. So, yes. And people are going to start relocating because the society, the culture in certain areas, it just doesn't work for them anymore, and they have to go because, some places are going to get toxic and other places are going to get better and healthier and more community driven. And we want to go towards our best path, whatever that is. Whatever path it is for you, you feel like you need to go do something for the betterment of yourself and your family, or just yourself if you're just alone, do that. Because if you stay somewhere that's toxic, it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse. If it's already toxic right now, it's only going to get worse. Unless if you see the people making it better right now, if there's people there that are trying to make it better, then okay. But if you see the people around you and the culture and society around you, where you live, getting worse right now, it's only going to get more worse. So be aware of that. And do the best that you can with what you have to be somewhere that's safe, to go somewhere that you know that you're going to be able to live a healthy, peaceful life with people supporting you. Because we all need each other right now. This is going to get crazy, but we will make it through, and we're going to be able to support each other through this. That's just the best. That's the best we can do. Things will fall apart, but they have to. They have to fall apart because they don't serve us. They are toxic. They were founded on toxic roots. Those roots have rotted, and now they're falling apart. That's what happens when the roots rot. It comes down. Any kind of thing that comes at it will tip it over, and that's exactly what's happening. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Do you guys have any questions? Leave them in the comments. Subscribe for more stuff like this. I am going to continuously keep making videos to help us out during these times. That's my mission. That's why I'm here. I'm so happy that we got to this place, because in other timelines, things were so much worse. We could have killed everybody in a nuclear war, winter, yeah, and we didn't do that, and I'm so happy we didn't do that. Yeah, and we could have died from overuse of plastics, which we still need to address, but we will. And because we could have died from that, because like we end up killing the whole like fauna of the planet and the animals and all that, and like ugh. That's where the other group is going. The self-destructive are going towards that kind of future, and we're not going there. If you're watching this, you're not going there. We're going towards enlightenment. We're going towards Jesus. We're going towards God. We're going towards evolution. Everyone's going to start getting more psychic abilities, more clear abilities. Like, people are going to start becoming more paranormal in a very good way. Like, powers are starting to come online. Some people can actually start feeling it coming online. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, but we gotta get through this rough part first. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I'm rambling now. Yeah, stay tuned for more stuff like this. Any questions, I will answer them in other videos. Okay, thank you, and stay strong. We can do this.